French Revolution, which began in 1789, is often considered one of the most significant events in world history. Its revolutionary principles, liberty, equality, and fraternity, profoundly shaped modern France and had a lasting impact on the global stage. These principles laid the foundation for the transformation of not only French society and politics, but also inspired movements for democracy, human rights, and social justice across the world. In this essay, we will explore the ways in which the revolutionary ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity shaped modern France and influenced the course of world history. The principle of liberty. The principle of liberty, or freedom, was a central theme of the French Revolution. The revolution sought to liberate individuals from oppressive political systems and societal hierarchies. Under the ancient regime, the monarchy and the aristocracy held significant power, often at the expense of the common people. The revolution challenged this system, demanding that power be vested in the people rather than in an authoritarian elite. Liberty, in the context of the revolution, was not only the freedom to act without interference, but also the right to participate in the political process. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, adopted in 1789, was a landmark document that enshrined these ideals. It proclaimed that all men were born free and equal in dignity and rights, and it asserted that the people had the right to determine their own laws and government. This was a radical departure from the previous monarchical system, where political power was concentrated in the hands of the king and nobility. The revolution's emphasis on liberty led to the establishment of democratic principles in France. The French Revolution abolished the absolute monarchy and replaced it with a republican form of government. It also inspired the development of constitutionalism and the idea of a rule of law, which became central to modern political thought. The concept of liberty extended beyond political participation to include individual rights, such as freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion. These rights were not fully realized in France at the time, but the ideals of liberty planted the seeds for future reforms that would gradually expand personal freedoms. Liberty also had a profound impact on the wider world. The French Revolution inspired other revolutionary movements, particularly in Latin America, where leaders like Simón Bolívar sought to emulate the principles of the French Revolution in their own struggles for independence. The idea of liberty became a cornerstone of the global movement for democracy, with nations across the world striving to create governments that reflected the will of the people. The principle of equality. Equality was another foundational principle of the French Revolution, and it too had a profound impact on the development of modern France and the world. Prior to the Revolution, French society was divided into rigid social classes, with the nobility and clergy enjoying privileges and exemptions that were denied to the common people. This system of inequality was deeply entrenched in French society and contributed to widespread social unrest. The Revolution sought to dismantle this hierarchical structure and establish a society based on the principle of equality. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen proclaimed that men are born and remain free and equal in rights, which was a direct challenge to the aristocratic and feudal structures that had dominated France for centuries. The Revolution aimed to eliminate the privileges of the nobility and establish a meritocratic society where individuals could rise based on their abilities rather than their birth. In practical terms, the French Revolution led to the abolition of feudal privileges, the end of the nobility's legal immunities, and the redistribution of land. The Revolution also promoted the idea of equal treatment before the law. The idea that all citizens were equal in the eyes of the law was a groundbreaking development that had far-reaching consequences. This notion of legal equality would go on to influence the development of modern legal systems and the idea of universal human rights. The French Revolution also laid the groundwork for the later expansion of civil rights and the fight for gender equality. Although women did not immediately gain the same rights as men in revolutionary France, the Revolution did spark debates about women's rights, leading to the eventual rise of the feminist movement. Figures like Olympe de Gouges, who wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Woman and of the Female Citizen, demanded equal rights for women, a cause cause that would take on greater significance in the 19th and 20th centuries. On a global scale, the principle of equality became a central tenet of many revolutionary movements. The French Revolution inspired the abolition of slavery in several parts of the world, most notably in Haiti, where the Haitian Revolution, 1791 to 1804, led to the establishment of the first independent black republic and the abolition of slavery. The abolition of slavery was further advanced in the 19th century, particularly with the growing influence of the abolitionist movement and the establishment of equal rights for all citizens, regardless of race. The principle of fraternity. The principle of fraternity, or brotherhood, was the third major ideal of the French Revolution. It emphasized solidarity among individuals and the importance of unity for the common good. Fraternity sought to overcome the divisions that had existed in French society, whether they were based on class, region, or religion, and to create a sense of national unity. The Revolution's call for fraternity was not just about social harmony, but also about collective action. The French people, united by a shared commitment to liberty and equality, were encouraged to work together for the common good. The Revolution promoted the idea that individuals had a responsibility to their fellow citizens, and that the nation's strength lay in its ability to come together in pursuit of shared goals. Fraternity was also reflected in the idea of national citizenship. The Revolution emphasized that all French citizens, regardless of their background, were part of a common national identity. This sense of citizenship, which was tied to the principles of liberty and equality, formed the basis for the development of the modern French nation-state. The idea of fraternity also contributed to the growth of national consciousness and nationalism in the 19th century. On a global scale, the principle of fraternity inspired movements for international cooperation and solidarity. Revolutionary ideals spread throughout Europe and the Americas, inspiring other nations to seek unity and self-determination. The ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity were central to the development of modern democratic states, and the concept of fraternity would later be incorporated into the founding documents of international organizations, such as the United Nations. The long-term impact on modern France and the world. The legacy of the French Revolution is evident in the political, social, and cultural development of modern France and the world. The revolution paved the way for the rise of democratic republics and the expansion of individual rights and freedoms. It also contributed to the development of a new political and social order that was based on the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. In France, the revolution led to the eventual establishment of the French Republic and the adoption of democratic institutions, such as universal suffrage and the rule of law. The principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity have been enshrined in the French Constitution and continue to guide French political and social life. The revolution also influenced the global struggle for democracy and human rights. It inspired movements for independence and self-determination in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, and it laid the foundation for the modern human rights movement. The ideals of the French Revolution continue to resonate in contemporary debates about democracy, justice, and equality. In conclusion, the French Revolution's principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity not only transformed France, but also had a profound impact on the world. These revolutionary ideals laid the groundwork for the development of modern democratic societies and continue to shape political, social, and cultural life across the globe. The legacy of the revolution serves as a reminder of the enduring power of ideas and the importance of striving for a more just and equitable